So we just did the primary transitions from the upright position, and again, I kind of favored demonstrating this from the classic knee ride position because everything here for the second one, the sport version, everything from here holds true, but I'd be letting go, putting my hands forward, right? But to some extent, it's harder for somebody to even start to get into the shrimp and things like that when you're dialed in like that. The escapes are a little bit more challenging because you're relying on the gi grips. So I wanted to, for the sake of showing the upright transitions, I wanted to go off the classic because from here, my control is really based just on my weight, and then my hands would not be as committed to him with grips. My hands are going to be more controlling the arms and looking for the attacks. So the transitions will often come a little bit more in here. Okay. Now that being said, we'll now take a look at the analog for the hybrid position. Okay. And the idea is the same. I don't really need to worry about stepping over the head. This is really just a game of does he try and shrimp one way or the other? Okay, because if I'm keeping my weight down low and everything, what I lose in the weight on my knees here, I make up for with basically my big surface area connection and the fact that my knees are pinched but light. Okay, so this is a little more, again, it's halfway from a mount and a knee ride. Whereas if I were doing one of these knee rides and had my weight forward, that's a no-no. That's going to get me, it's going to have him escaping very quickly in most cases if he knows what he's doing. Here, it's surprisingly difficult to kind of get that escape going when you're doing everything correctly. But the main thing in here, so let's say Ryan's going to start to shrimp out to this side, so he's going to try and work on that leg. So if I want to from here, basically what I'm doing is, okay, this one is in motion, and I just switch, and now I'm pinching the knee in again. Okay, starts to turn the other way. Okay, there's the switch, and I just tuck that in again. Okay. And now, just skipping forward. Okay, so the windshield wiper is essentially the same. From this position that we did above, I'm just down lower with my hips. Okay, so constantly just finding that tucked in position. Okay, so from here, switch. Okay, or okay. Now, at any point from any knee ride, you can drop into the mount. And if I want to drop into the mount from here, I'll go back to this side. At any point, it's a very simple process to do, but I just want to make sure that I don't put my foot down here like this, and he's immediately looking to do an elbow knee escape, okay, and slide that in right as my foot comes over. So what I'm going to do from here always, okay, is I'm going to do that little flare out of my heel, that little windshield wiper motion, that action that you may have seen before taught. So when I'm in here like this, okay, I drop this over here like this, and then I slide it in. So I'm going to beat that initial motion. Okay. So from here, then I bring it in. Okay, then I can go right into kind of a Superman mount position, or at any point I just reverse that motion. Say he starts to, you know, trying to figure out where he wants to go, right? Just drop that over. Okay. So that's that part. And then if he does go to turn away from me, it's going to be very familiar. Okay. So I'm just riding that and drop it in. Again, I'm using my hands to keep my weight pressed back into his hips. That serves two purposes. Number one, it's going to make it difficult for him to turn towards me, to get, keep coming, to get his butt up in the air as easily. It's going to slow that down because he's carrying all the weight pushing from the floor into his hips. And it's going to allow me to stay so I don't fall off. That's the second reason. I'm not going to be sliding off with my pelvis going up towards his shoulder blades and things like that, or off his rib cage, right? I'm going to be kind of clamped right onto this line, right? Gives me a lot of control. Okay, so let's just try those couple pieces. Windshield wiper from the hybrid position, the little extra flare out of your foreleg to drop it into the mount anytime you want, then you can just switch it back. And then also your partner trying to shrimp away from you, and you're going to do the same, riding the belt line kind of on the back side and dropping that hook in. Okay?